I'm Adrian J. Boer, DC, ND, mostly known as Doc. I'm a board-certified naturopathic physician as well as chiropractic physician. For those of you that's here for the first time, welcome to a breath of fresh air regarding healthcare. This is what healthcare looks like in Europe. That is where I'm from originally, the Netherlands, and I've since, as you can tell, branched out to West Michigan, we're going to apply a lot of the knowledge from the Europeans and Americans, combine it, and really hit it for you. We are going to cover a couple of esoteric topics first, just summer stuff. Dr. Stacy, who's not with us today, she's dealing with some horse issues at home. She has a bunch of horses, and she's also a chiropractor for horses. So she's adjusting horses. If you don't believe it, go to YouTube. And on YouTube, you'll see her adjusting horses. That's what she does for a living also. It's really cool. What she wanted to cover was bug spray. That was one of the things we get asked a lot, and I'll just dig into bug spray for a moment. Using her research, she found a very interesting article in New England Medical Journal. This is considered one of our cornerstone conservative medical journals that we have. It's very prestigious, which makes me suspicious. But it's often used as the hallmark of knowledge. And they were comparing DEET, which has been used since 1950s, to some other sprays. And it was really an interesting one. Just to deflate you, DEET was the winner. It did win them all, but there was some question on safety. There's a lot of unknowns about it. We don't know quite how it works. And we are always advised to use caution when using DEET. If you're going into a really heavily infested area, a lot of mosquitoes, I use DEET, but I spray it on my clothes. So I hang my clothes, my jacket, my pants, and whatever else on a hanger outside. I just spray it on there, and then I wear it. Yeah, it works well. It works for many hours. I'm going to get an exposure to my skin. And then on my skin, I will use something called picardin, which is a bit of an unknown. I did a lot of digging into this one. It seems to be less toxic than DEET. It's only when I go into the extreme conditions and you don't feel like being eaten alive. But there's a new one that was studied by New England Medical Journal, and that is a unique combination of eucalyptus. Now, it's got to be a certain strength, and I'll dig out her research article here that she kindly copied for me. This eucalyptus product is sold at REI, and it has to be at least 40% eucalyptus. Okay, you can get it up to 70% eucalyptus, sometimes mixed with water. It is entirely safe. It was as effective as DEET, believe it or not, but DEET outperformed it. That DEET lasts longer. But this one has had an effectiveness rate of 120 minutes, which wasn't bad, I thought. You can always spray yourself again. So we'll get back to you as far as where else you can get it. I'm a little vague on that. I'm going to have Dr. Stacy post it on Facebook for us regarding articles, some more background information, and where you can get it. So there was also on horses, she kindly reminded me. On horses, what she'll do also is take garlic and mix it with water and spray them down, and she says that's effective for horse flies, mosquitoes, bugs for about 4 hours. So, but I can't see myself spraying myself with garlic water. So, but just so you know, for dogs and that, if they seem bothered, why not? It's a very healthy alternative, and you certainly don't want to spray these animals with DEET. They seem very sensitive to that. So, and I get this question a lot as well. Sunblock, what do you use? One of the more natural ones that you can use on kids is Jason. That's the one that we often recommend. I like sunblock, not sunscreen. All of Europe, the dermatology associations have gone away from the sunscreen because Their feeling is that it only filters some of the UV lights out. Others will enter in, will go deeper. Then the other rays can cause more damage underneath the superficial layer and can cause premature aging of the skin because of it. And who needs that? And we suspect it is more cancer causing than not using anything at all. Sunblock, however, is different because it blocks sun, right? It just literally blocks it. So if you're going out for the first time and you're going to be outside on the beach for a long time, you know you're going to get fried. Well, first of all, use common sense, right? So expose yourself to some sun, cover up, but the areas that are still going to get burnt like this, if you're wearing sunglasses, this, tops of shoulders perhaps, you can block the sun there specifically with zinc oxide. There's some new clear ones out now, and that's usually on there that says clear. Works wonderful. It just blocks sun rays, doesn't screen it out, it doesn't have the artificial ingredients. I'm a huge fan of that one, and that's the one I would use on my kids. Yeah? So these sunscreens can be dangerous. I know the dermatologists here go into this huge fit every time there's all this informational stuff out there. Europe has gone pretty much the whole opposite way. They say, expose yourself to sun. It is anti-cancerous, even for the skin. It's burning that hurts you. And we have the research to prove that. So it's really interesting how with melanoma, the Dutch will actually recommend sun exposure to help you fight it. And really, the doctors here would just almost have a heart infarct if they heard that one. But my experience has been, having been in practice here now for 21 years, that all the things that were taught over 20 years ago back in the Netherlands are finally starting to trickle through over here and becoming somewhat more mainstream. So it seems like there's about a 20-year lag as far as information goes, and maybe 100 for others. Okay.
Where would you buy sunblock like that?
Oh, you can get that everywhere. Yeah, you don't have to go to special health food store for this one. Whichever.
Repeat the name.
Zinc oxide, and it's the clear one, because you can get zinc oxide also that has that white look to it, and that's equally well, but it's just kind of weird looking. So the clear one's kind of nice. So, yes?
What about Mexerol? In Europe and Canada and Mexico.
Mexerol? I don't know that product. And why don't we, for the sake of time, why don't we gather up our questions and we'll hit it right away after? Yeah, does that sound reasonable? That way I can just keep cruising and you can help my ADD-like mind out that way. All right. So, interesting article also that I want to cover before we jump into the farmer's market, and that's this one. In today's USA Today editorial section, there was a big editorial on how we should clamp down on quality control on natural products. First of all, I agree. I totally agree. But as reasons, they quoted the last year that they had the statistics, and that was in 2007, that there were 9 deaths. I want you to know that 9 deaths, there's 2 points I want to make about that. One is that was the year that contaminated kava from Switzerland, of all places, made their way into this country. Kava is used as a relaxant, has a very strong history for safety and efficacy, has a lot of clinical studies backing it. Even the German Commission E label, which is the toughest label to get for clinical effectiveness rather, condoned it. But there appears to be different kava plants, and they used the wrong one in manufacture and sent it to us, and it resulted in 9 deaths, which of course is hugely unfortunate, and we should never be callous towards that. But those are the statistics that they quoted. Check out 06, check out 08, 05, and you'll find zero deaths. You'll have to go back to 04 to find a few other ones, and it was a similar problem like that. And again, it was in the single digits. If you study non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, NSAIDs for short, according to our own government statistics, the last one that we had from 2 years ago, it caused 18,700 deaths in this country. That's just one class of drugs. If we go up further and look at proper use of drugs, we're not talking overdose, we're not talking about wrong combination of drugs, we're talking about proper use of drugs, that number climbs to 96,000 1,000 deaths the last time we had a statistic on it. If you add to that doctor mistakes, because doctors